Hello everyone, this is Guyan with another intensive, and I am here to show you how to get the O3DE engine source code and build your projects from it. You definitely need some prerequisites. We can look over here to start. I'm assuming that you have already been able to run O3DE with the installer, as that takes some things to start. And they're pretty straightforward. You can just follow the instructions here. I can even put the link in the description. Now, on top of that, we need to be able to get the source code from Git. So what you can do to check if you have both Git and GitLFS is to open up your command line and check. So you can go git version, git version, and it'll tell you a number, or it will say what it did above. We don't know what that is. And you can go GitLFS version, and it'll come up with a number, and if not, then you don't have it. So a really quick way to get them, if you do not have them, is to search up winget and Git, and winget and GitLFS. And there are multiple websites, as you can see, that offer you the little thing. You come in, you copy it, you pull up your command line, and you can put it in. You can search as well, and it'll pull up some stuff. The very first time you use winget, it will ask you to say yes around their terms of service and stuff. But as you can see, you can actually find the IDs that are basically what they give you to install. That's just a fun little factoid. I have it all, so we do not need that. Now, what are we doing? So what we need to do is we need to download the source code repository. This allows us to over and over pull in the new edits and the new changes that we find through watching the Discord or watching how the progress on the actual GitHub is. If you're not a power user, command line user, which I assume you're not, because otherwise you probably don't need this tutorial, a very good tool to have is GitHub Desktop. It can work with any number of repositories, but also works with GitHub very easily. So you can just grab that, and you'll be good to go. GitHub Desktop comes with the installs for Git usually, but sometimes it can be a little finicky. So it's just good to have it built in prefab all ready for you on your computer. So you'll come up with GitHub here. You usually want to set up your account and stuff, because of course we're going to be using GitHub there. And then come to the O3DE repository. I'll have a link for this, of course. You can search it up, but there's also, just so you know, there's the O3DE organization, and then there's the O3DE repository. Oops. So once you're here on the repository, you should be able to see the file list, last changed with all these things. And now you just want to click on this code dropdown, and it has an even helpful link right here to click Open with GitHub Desktop. Okay, so it just opened mine. Sometimes I'm worried, like, oh, is it going to overwrite things? And so then you should see current repository, O3DE. When you search the repositories, it'll actually be under your username. I have the documentation website as well, and my resources that I have for some of these tutorials. And now I'm in development branch, so that means we just got the open particle system and stuff like that. So pretty cool. It's really interesting to see all the work that goes on, and what you're going to get to use on demand. So we've got the repository, we've got GitHub ready for it, we have all of our prerequisites. Now we can go into the instructions here and do a few things. I kind of skip a bunch of this stuff. Some of it's optional, sometimes some of it's not. So one of the things that's not optional is this Python get python.bat. So when you first have your source code here, you can click in here and go git bash here, and you can copy the command. So python oh geez, I'm doing a real bad typing job here. Python slash get python.bat, and when you click enter, it should run. It might be the slash lines have to be different, but if it gives you any fuss and says we don't know what you're talking about, we don't know what you're doing, you can actually go into here and then double click on get python.bat directly. That's what I did, and it does exactly the same thing, and it'll pop up that window, any one of these command lines, and it'll, blah, 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 like a bunch of stuff, and then you should have the Python necessary. And then I don't do any of these because usually when you're using the source code, you're likely using one project, at most maybe two. And so instead of building the engine, you're going to build the project with the source code directly. So what we need to do now, scrolling all the way down, is register the engine. So again, we can go into the source code at the start, open git bash here, and you have git bash because you got the winget for it. You might have to have restarted your computer, but then you can go scripts, O3DE.bat. So we're running another batch file, which is just a little script that runs. Register is a command to it, and then this -engine. And so it'll go, and it'll say went to the manifest, and it's the manifest that usually gets installed when you do the installer. So it's in your users under your name, under .o3de, O3D manifest. It's adding O3DE editor to the key engines, and it succeeded. Huzzah! So what this means now is that your source code is the O3DE system on your computer is now aware of your source code version of the engine, and now you can build with it. So when you come into your project manager, you can go and edit project settings, and when you go into the engine, it may have started like this. 2505 is the most recent one I have installed. I think they have a new patch out for it. And now you can click drop down, and now there should be a 4.2.0, and the 4.2.0 is just a slap-on ID for it, and so you know it's a script, source code, and you can just tell because it tells you the directory, which is your O3DE source code folder. And when you click save, it'll say, yep, you probably need to rebuild, and boy, do you really need to rebuild. It will start from scratch pretty well. And so as you can see here, there's the O3DE SDK, which is just the install, and then there's O3D 4.2.0, which is the source code. And as you can tell, I do a lot of source code use. And so with that, now your project will be building by pointing to this source code here, your O3DE source code, and now it will be utilizing all of the brand new, fresh in development work that's going on. Of course, if you start wanting to get involved in contributions, you'll make a fork of your own, a copy basically of the source code, and edit that, which is what I have. Upstream development, I believe, is the actual O3DE version. And so then I have some branches that I've made locally. And what this then allows is in your projects, in my case VS Code, you can now point to the editor source code and actually be able to see all of the source code that this engine has. And that's a lot of source code, but it's very, very cool to have because, in fact, a lot of the commercial engines, you have to have a pro membership or have certain agreements with the company to be able to get full source access like this. But because this is open source, you just get it right off the bat. So then I can go into O3DE editor, find in folder, type in, well, yeah, what I've been working on is UI image bus, and bang, boy, do we have image bus stuff. Static files, slicer edit, UI image bus. Oh, hey, here we've got the UI image bus. Oh, look, we can get radial fill start angle and we can set sprite type. And this is all source code. So this is the stuff that you use to command the engine. And what's also nice is that when you're trying to find inclusion directories, you can now look, it's Lyshine code include, so then include proceeds right here, oops, proceeds right here, and then we see Lyshine bus, UI image bus. And so when we're making a code here, we can just go include Lyshine, what it was, bus image UI image bus dot h, and it should take us to this. And then furthermore, similarly so, if we go, well, let's see, what's a good example? Well, let's, we don't want to do the bus. So, well, now that I'm on this image bus page, now it jumps me all the way right into Lyshine code, include Lyshine. And so now if I step away from the bus and just get into the stuff, UI component types, okay, we'll see AZ type ID. It's like, what's that? So then I can click F12 and it actually takes me to AZ core RTTI type info. And that's really powerful because, hey, now you can actually see what type info is, where it's located, what kind of values it has, what the namespace is that has ownership over it, everything. And so this is an incredibly powerful way that you can now refer and reference the source code to see how things are done, to see what commands and what things are there, and how you can then interface with it and use those things for your own purposes. So just to cap it off, when you do your build after you've changed from one to the other, it's basically going to have to do an absolute completely fresh rebuild. If it gives you trouble, it might give you like, oh, this build is failing, it can't work and stuff. You may need to go into the open CMake GUI and then click configure, it'll process, generate, it'll process, and then you can just close out and then build. Sometimes it's that doing that CMake reconfigure points it to the right direction, connects it to the right knobs and dials and switches that allow you to actually do the build to the proper directory and proper things. Or similarly, you'll see here, there's the command CMake build, build for Windows, target editor, config profile, and then M. This you can then run if you want to do direct command stuff, not in the source code here, but in your project. So then you go in your project here, you get bash here, you can copy this, but command line is weird, you shift insert. And what is this doing? It's saying, hey, CMake, which gets installed when you install O3DE, so you should be fine. The build should be build Windows. This is the kind of build that we're doing. The target is do the editor style build for build Windows. The configuration for what the editor will be when we build it for Windows will be profile. There's also debug and I think it's called release. And then any special commands that we want to do during this process, and it just says M is any number of cores to do it. This is the build. Oh, sorry. This is why it's an intensive. I just ramble on. No. To configure, you want this one. Control copy. Sorry. Shift insert. So that was build. So you're telling it to build. This is saying CMake. The build type is build Windows. I'm not sure what the S and the is. The G is what type of what's the builder, the compiler. If you're using Visual Studio 2022 community, it's Visual Studio 17. You can see that here. Then you're saying the third-party path for all of the various gems is wherever it's installed. In my case, it's C O3DE packages. Oh, no, that's what they're saying here. In my case, it's somewhere else. I'm tired this morning. This configure, so this is the equivalent to going and doing the CMake GUI here. Where is it? There's third-party path here, third-party path. So yeah, it's in my users O3DE third-party. Same idea, it does the same thing, it's just an interface for it. And you can also, just for a real check, is you can actually go to that manifest in your users person O3DE manifest, and you'll see at the very bottom there's engines, and it should have your source code there, and there should be engines path, and it should have your source code there, and any installs that you have also. And so that's how this all works. Sorry for taking you for a loop a few times here, but it's very, very simple. And of course, once you have this done, all you ever have to do is just whenever you want to update, you fetch, you get what happens. Your history changes, but then when you come in and you build again, or you use your build command, it will probably take an hour. It's like 4/5 of the engine rebuilds. A little bit faster than from completely full scratch, which is about an hour and a half for me, or an hour and 20. But just expect that. So like if you get a fun, exciting new feature come in, like the open particle system, just expect to do it really early on in the day or overnight, because it'll take you a long while of the day. Let me know if anything was unclear, if you need any new feedback on this. I can probably re-record it because I do very shoddy jobs at this. But yeah, I hope this serves you well, and I hope that it gets you working with the source code, and even scratches the idea that you might contribute, because every bit matters, and taking part in the community and in the future of this engine is actually a very, very cool experience. So thanks for watching. I'll see you again.